Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to be working on the piece we call Eternal Flame. It's over here on the welding table now. I'll be just bending or shaping the outer perimeter of the piece. I showed you guys on the last video. Let me grab it right here. I showed you guys this portion of it on the last video, and I told you guys that when I get started on it, I would just make a short video just to let you guys see what I'm doing. So I'll be starting that today in this video, and I also promised you guys that I would let you see leaf in its final position, final stance, and this is leaf. It's all completed. The only thing we have to do now is go through, and I would just take my my soft grinding pad and just clean up some of the leaves or some of the vines, because they have some like the dark spots just from the TIG welding on there. So I'll do that, and then I'll passivate the stainless on both sides. And then I'll put the other chemical we used after I passivate it on the stainless. And then after that, we'll go to the process of bringing out the copper patina, which I've showed you guys or told you how we do it. We use hydrogen peroxide, white vinegar, and table salt. And in order to do it in this section, we'll just take like a paintbrush and paint it on between the vines, paint it down the sides here, and then down here we'll just spray it, out of a spray bottle. Just let it sit. Hopefully we'll get some rain or snow or whatever we're gonna get, and let that the patina come out of it. So next time you'll see it, it will look more like this picture. It'll be more of a brown kind of a deal. It won't be the manufactured look. It'll be just more the brown patina look like we normally do our pieces. So I just wanted to let you guys get a look at the finished product. It stands to probably, I don't know, 6 feet and just over 6 feet. It's a nice piece. People love it, either for the front yards or for the gardens. People just love this piece. So that's it. I promised you guys I would show it to you. So that's the finished piece. All right, I'm gonna move the camera in so we can start looking at what we're gonna be doing today. I'll move this piece out of the way. All right. So what we're gonna be doing today is pretty much just taking this 16 gauge core 10, and I'll be bending it, and I'll just be shaping it onto here, just tacking it on, because I normally do I'll have one piece on the table, I'll get it clamped down and all that stuff so it won't be sitting up high, so that when I put these pieces on, they'll be sitting on the table where they're supposed to be, and they won't be like extending beyond this lower piece too far. So what I'm going to do now is take it over to the English wheel and bend this just to get it to form onto this piece. It's not a difficult process. It just can be kind of time consuming when you're trying to roll the piece in the English wheel and trying to get it, to lay flat and all that stuff. But overall, it's not a difficult process at all. It's just a matter of, just trying to get it to lay out correctly and follow your contours and all that stuff. But again, it's not a difficult process. I'm just gonna clamp it down a little bit. And so once I do the outside with the core 10, I'll be doing the inner portion with the stainless steel. All right, so we have that down to the table now. So I'm gonna take it over to the English wheel and just get started rolling. I'm checking both sides to see which side looks better as far as the portion that will be, people will see. But they both look good. This is a new core 10 I just had delivered about 3 weeks ago now. Because I was using, actually, this core 10 was delivered 2 days ago. But the thicker core 10 I had to deliver about 3 weeks ago when I was working on the big blocks that I was showing you guys. So this is some remnants of the material that we use from the blocks. So I will take this over. What I'm trying to do is just follow this outside edge. Either I guess we can consider this the back or the left side or right side. So it'll just be one of the sides. This is the front. Then the portion that'll be on top of that is the back. All right, let me get started here. All right, put my face shield on just in case this wants to pop out of here. So I just slowly roll it, and I'm looking at that the piece on the table, just trying to find where it curves and how it curves, because it's going to curve in this direction for a while, and then it's going to curve the opposite way. It's sort of an S shape. So I'm just kind of doing the bend and watching that piece. The good thing about 14 gauge, 16 gauge, it's pretty easy to bend. But when you get to your 12 gauge, 11 gauge, 10 gauge is not so easy. That takes a little bit more effort, or a lot more effort actually, than the 14 gauge. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm looking at this, I'm following this curve. And then right about here, it starts going the opposite direction. So I just want to make sure that when I put this here, this is on the table. I know that this is on the table. So I just want to put it on there, get it as close to this piece as I can. I don't want a big gap in there, because if I have a big gap and I bend this the opposite way, it can throw it off because there's too much material sticking out. So I just want to get it as close to the piece as I can by pushing it that way. Let me see. Pretty good. I think I'm going to just put one more roll right here in the same direction I've been going to, and I'll reverse it and go the opposite way. It's kind of trial and error sometimes, but like I said, when you're working with 14 gauge, 16 gauge, it's pretty forgiving, and it doesn't make the project too difficult. So now I'll go in reverse direction. Let me see what it looks like. Not too bad. I'm gonna roll it just a little bit right here so it won't look flat when I get it welded on there. All right. So the key now is just to start just kind of tacking it on, getting it in as tight to this piece as I can. And when I put it on this upper portion right here, I have to let it overhang this top point enough so that when this piece of metal on this side comes up, they'll be able to meet in the middle and there won't be a gap up here. So I gotta find that that area. That's not too bad right there. I have my water set on set for welding a 1/4 inch. I always just keep it hot, and that way I don't have to worry about my my welds breaking loose or having, like, you know, really cold beads. I just like to just burn it in. All right. All right. So here we go. That's not bad right there. I'll go right there. Yeah. The problem is this is really thin metal, or not really, it's 16 gauge. This is the 11 gauge. So I'm going from thin to thick, so I'm gonna have to roll from my thick going up to my thin. I don't want to start on the thin and roll to the thick. I want to go from the thick to the thin. And all I do is just follow it around. I want to keep this on the table as well, and I don't want it sitting on top of this. I want it sitting on top of the table, because if I have it sitting on top of this and I'm welding down here, my piece is going to start going up like that, and then by the time I get down here, it won't want to lay on the table because it's welded going up. So you just got to watch all those little things. So far, so good. And what you do is just keep doing the same thing. Just go around the perimeter. I'm trying to find my my pry bar. So the way I kind of do it when the bends get a little bit tighter, this metal doesn't want to flex as much, I'll take a pry bar, slide it between one of these lines in the table, and just give it a little push. that just kind of helps it get a little bit closer to this metal, and I don't have to use too much force to try and push it. I just take the pry bar and just pry it, and it'll close that gap in here. Now I could stand it up, flip it over, put my clamps on it, and clamp everything tight, but I want to get some welds on the inside just to help hold it and support it from the inside. I don't have to do it like that, but that's just the way we do it. And just remember keeping this to the table. So I'm just keeping it to the table and keeping it as close to this piece as possible. Just trying to close that gap while keeping this thing down because it wants to raise up. And just a little insight. Oftentimes I'll hear artists that are just starting out or some that have been in the business for years. They'll say, how do I make these large pieces? And I'll tell them that it's actually easier to make large pieces than it is the small pieces, because as you see with this metal, it's just flexing because it's so long. But when you get a small piece, a 24 or 30 inch piece, it's a lot harder to bend that metal because it's shorter, it's a closer distance. So just a little tip. So if you guys ever decide to venture off into the larger pieces, it won't be that big of a deal. You're doing what you're doing with the small pieces. You're just enlarging it. That's all you're doing. So basically, that's primarily what you're doing. Now, I won't say all pieces are easier, but a lot of them are because the material is so long. It flexes like you saw me. It was really easy to bend it over there on the English wheel, or if you have a slip roll, however you want to bend it. It just kind of bends almost, you really don't even, it's almost like cardboard. It's because it's so long. Okay. All right, let me grab, I'll put something here so I can put my pry bar against it and bend it, and it'll cause the metal to flex in some. All right, so I just went and got a 20-pound piece of steel. I'm just gonna put it here. And the reason I'm doing this is it's really kind of a tight, where it flows this way, then it gets tight right here because it wants to go back the other way. So I gotta get in there and just kind of push that in there. There's always little ways to do things, little trick ways to do it and to make it easier on you. So this is just one of those ways. Like I said, I could take it, flip it over, take my clamps, put this on, and just clamp it together and weld everything from the outside. But I'd rather keep it like this, because if I have welds on the opposite side and I lay it on the table, it'll be uneven because those welds will kind of raise it up in different spots. So I'd rather weld it from inside on this side, and then when I'm ready to put the top piece on, everything will be even. All right, let me get this finished out. So now I'm having to hold this down because it wants to kind of pop up. And again, I'm not wearing my helmet, but when I get ready to pull the trigger, I just close my eyes. But for you guys at home, I recommend you wear your helmet. Almost there. All right, so what I'll do now is just do the same on the opposite side. I'll just move all of my clamps and pry bars, and what I'll do now is I'll come up through the table and clamp it from inside of here. I'm thinking about getting another larger table with the holes in it, so I can just put all my clamps through the holes. But this is I like this as well. These are just Harbor Freight tables. I have two Harbor Freight tables combined. I have them clamped together so it lays flat. On this table, on the standard Harbor Freight tables, when you buy them, your legs are set in a permanent position. I can't remember how tall the table is, but what I did is I modified both of my tables. So mine extends from their standard height, whatever that is, all the way up to 42 inches. So I can take it up way up here if I wanted to. So I just added some, I think they're 1 inch square tube. I cut the tables on their uprights. I just cut them and drilled holes through their uprights, and then I took my 1 inch square tubes, if you will, measured my heights, drilled my holes, and on the top piece I just welded that solid, but on the bottom, where all the holes is, I can adjust it up and down. So just to make it a little bit easier, because for me, their standard height, I'm just looking at these two bars. That's about 6. Their standard height will be somewhere down here. I can't work way down there, but when my wife comes out, she's not as tall as I am. I'll adjust the tables down for her. Or I can still separate the tables. She can be on one table, I'll be on the other table. Mine at this height, hers is down lower. So maybe I'll make a video on how to, add the square tube and drill your holes and all that stuff. Maybe make a video on that just to make it easier on you guys if you guys already have these tables or you want to buy these tables. All right, let me get these clamps off of here. I gotta see if I can go in through the middle and get them clamped down. Well, maybe I'll just drag it back here. On this side. This will just help keep it down to the table so it won't be lifting up too much. Yeah, that's good. And now, for this side. All right. Okay, that's there. And I'll put this one here. All right. So what I'll do now is grab the other piece. And both sides look good, so I'll just make this my outer side. Now with this piece, there will be two pieces added. One for this lower portion and one for the upper portion. Because this comes through here and it goes in here and it stops right there. Then the other piece comes out to finish the lower arc. So I could just have the one piece, bend it there, tuck it in and bring it out. But it's just as easy to just run two pieces. All right, let me see what it looks like here. So I gotta go basically the same way. From here, out, and back. Let me see here. So it's just more of the same. Just getting in, rolling it, finding that point where it wants to go the opposite direction, and just roll it in the opposite direction. And the only thing with larger pieces, I mean, they're easier to bend as far as the metal goes, but they're just more time consuming because they're larger than the smaller pieces, of course. So I guess there are kind of drawbacks to both of them. With the larger ones, because this can take, I don't know, 3-4 hours sometime to TIG weld this. So that's why I'll be just stitching it with my with the MIG. But on the inside where the stainless will be, I'll be TIGging that because I don't want to get weld spatter in this pocket. I won't be able to get my grinder in there to get it out. So let me just see what I got here so far. There. Let's see. Looking pretty good. There. I'm gonna bend this just a little bit more right there. Now normally an English wheel is meant to roll, get contours and whatnot in thinner gauge stainless, thin gauge steel, mild steel and whatnot. And normally when you're doing something like this, you would use a slip roll in most cases, well, in some cases anyway. But with me, I can get better rolls with an English wheel than I can with a slip roll because I can do just about anything with an English wheel. Where you can do the same with a slip roll, it just can be a little bit more tricky as you're doing it with that. And the reason I have this English wheel is because when I first started doing metal work, I was restoring a classic Mustang, a '65 Mustang. So I got the English wheel. I have a planishing hammer. I have shrinker stretchers. I have you know, a lot of stuff for your thinner sheet metal. But then I went from classic cars to, you know, sculptures. So I still have a lot of the stuff from the classic car, so I use it in different ways now. I was using the English wheel. I was making the English wheel, the shrinker stretchers, planishing hammer. I was using all of that, making like rocker panels, making pieces for like fenders, quarter panels. Because I don't know if you guys have heard of it's a classic car auto parts store. They carry rocker panels, they carry quarter panels, fenders, hoods, roofs, chassis, everything. It's called NPD, National Parts Depot. They sell really nice stuff, but the majority of the time, it doesn't fit properly. The fit up is just not proper. So what you'd have to do is, like, for example, I bought a quarter panel. It was a portion of a quarter panel, a lower portion of a quarter panel. When you put it on, it looks good at the store, but when you get it home, it's always an inch, 2 inches, 3 inches too short. So from the very bottom, where you would spot weld it together, down at the seam, it would always be too short. So oftentimes you have to do is add your own metal. So that's kind of how I learned how to weld thin metal, because we were looking at some 24 gauge, some 22 gauge, some 18 every now and then. But to weld those pieces together, you really had to know your stuff, and you really have to practice up, or you'll just blow right through it. So that's the reason I have like the English wheels and that, because I was working on stuff like that. And whenever you, like I said, whenever you buy a quarter panel or something from them, a fender, you're gonna have to extend it or shorten it, because they never fit quite right. All right, let me see what I have here. So I think I'm gonna start here first, get that weld, then I'll work my way that way, because I can pull the metal, cut off metal up there, but if I start up there and work my way in here, it's hard for me to get in here and cut this metal to make it fit in this pocket. So I think I'll start here first. And so, yep, I got started with a '65 Mustang. And it took me a couple years to get everything finished. So I finished it, and this guy came by and said that he was looking for a Mustang for his wife's birthday. He had been looking for one for a long time, couldn't find it. So he saw mine. He loved the way I did all the metal work, and he bought it right there on the spot. And so that was kind of the start of my love for metal. And it hasn't stopped. So hopefully this channel will inspire you guys to just get out and start making stuff. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it looks like. Just get out and make stuff. I don't care how I'm feeling during the day. I can be feeling as down as anything. But as soon as I come out here and touch metal, everything changes. I'll forget about everything. Any issues, anything, I just forget about everything. And you go right to it. So it's therapeutic, as well as cool, because you're making something with your hands. We're created by God, and He told us that He's creative and He wants us to create. So that's what we do. I create. It's just in us to create. The Bible says, in the beginning, God created. And that's all it took right there. Bam. All right, guys. So this is how you do this stuff. If you see a 10-foot tall or 15-foot tall sculpture, this is how they do it. They might use thicker metal in certain areas, but this is primarily how it's done. I really think with the right tools, anybody can do it. They may not be able to do it like certain people or whatever, but they can do their thing, and that's what's important. You have to be able to do your thing. You don't want to be a clone of somebody else. You want to be your own self. Do your own thing. Make your own name, and just change the industry. Everybody want to do the same. Make the same old boring pieces. No, do something different. So anybody can do this. Almost there. Grab this guy here. So I have another spot here that's it's kind of tight, and the metal doesn't want to go straight to it. So I'm about to put this on and see if I can get my pry bar and try and pry it to close that gap. Yep, just like that. It's another little inside secret, guys. Just use anything you can find to make it easier on yourself. Use it. I have created so many tools to do this stuff, and it's just gets cooler and cooler. Every time you can make something to make something, it's cool, because you're creating it with your own mind. You're just doing something. I hope my videos inspire you guys to just get out and make something crazy. I don't care what it is. All right, so that's what I'm doing for today. So I'll be taking this piece and just bending it to put it in this section. I have to put it in here, and it'll roll this way, and that'll complete the outer skins. Then after that, I'll just get the stainless steel measurements in here, get some probably 14 gauge stainless steel. You gotta do the same thing, go to English wheel, shape it, put it in there, tack it in a couple spots. Then take the front or back, whatever one we decide to call it, either one, front and back, lay it on, get it tucked in, and just start tacking it all in. Then after that, once I get it tacked in, I will go ahead and TIG weld all the stainless in first. And then I'll finish the outside, because I don't want to finish the outside and then it's pulling the stainless steel, and I won't be able to close it on the bottom and top. So I'll do the stainless steel first. Once I get this top one, take all that up on both sides, then I'll come back and just tack everything else up. Then after I get this part done, I'll have to make the base for it. I'm going to just have to decide on how tall I want to make the base this time. Each time we do them a little bit different. But so that's going to do it for today. And hopefully on the next video, this will be almost ready to go or pretty much done. And then I'll be moving on to another piece. I think in the last video I was talking about this piece I might call Olympic. I might be doing that one, or I might be doing another one that I came up with this morning. I went and looked at some of the indoor pieces that we make, and I made this one piece. It's on a pedestal, and it comes up like this, and in the center it has a donut, and it has copper inside of it and all this stuff. So I want to do that piece and an outdoor piece much larger. So it'll be the majority of the piece will be core 10. The center circle or donut will be stainless steel, and then inside of that will be a large piece of hammered copper. I'm gonna put inside of there, just to do something different, because over the years at shows we go to, people loved the piece that I was, the idea that I was bringing this new piece from, but they really wanted it for outdoors. So I'm going to go ahead and make it for outdoors, and so give people what they want. They want the piece, the outdoor piece, I'm going to go ahead and do it for them. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. And as usual, peace out.